Today we're going to talk about our Beetles good daily drivers. As you can see, I'm in one. So folks, that's what 8,000 looks like. Almost
Shinier.
Good enough to send out the door, but it's not quite right yet.
Shiny
Hey folks out there in YouTube land. October 16th, Lowdown in Dubtown this year. We canceled last year, so we did a tweak on last year's artwork. They're going to be available for t-shirts. We might put them online, link in the description. You know the routine. Like, subscribe, that whole thing. So I'm just polishing up Hersker. I've got the last 3 panels. And this is the last step before actual polish. So I'm using Trizac. This one I'm using 3,000, 5,000, and 8,000, and on DA it's about 5 passes each way, so 10 passes total. It makes polishing that much easier. So you can get away with like a 1-stage polish instead of a 3-stage polish. On these I do 2. That's just kind of my standard thing. So no scratchies.
Nice.
That's how we make it shinier.
Well, before you go anywhere, I got a question.
Yeah, I just got to stand up. I've been sitting all morning.
So, a lot of people ask, is a classic VW Beetle a good daily driver?
Yes, it is. It's a fairly simple car. You got to keep an eye on your maintenance and your tire pressures and your timing, and things wear out and that kind of stuff. But there's no computers. It's not just going to give you an engine error code if something's going wrong. So you got to be a little bit more in tune with the automobile you're driving. So instead of being well insulated into a capsule like a space age person in the new cars, where everything is heated seats, air conditioned seats, computer controlled, all of that stuff doesn't exist in the Beetle.
You may not even have a gas gauge.
Unless you put them in. Yeah, actually the early cars didn't even have gas gauge. It came with a wooden stick that you had to check. So
that's awesome. So wait, how about like for a teenager? So a lot of people are like,
I would not advise a teenager get any car worth anything. For us old folk, yeah, do it. As long as you're really got good situational awareness, because people will try to run you over as they're looking at your car.
Great.
Which I've had happen. So let's go find out what's going on in the shop.
All right.
So I'll talk about this one since this is next on my schedule. All the punch list items are done, so Mr. Ferguson, you should be happy about that. I have to go and do paint corrections, so that's probably going to start tomorrow, and I should finish it up by middle of the week next week. So I should have it finished and ready to go for Mr. Ferguson to pick up.
Nice.
That's a 69 Dia. It took a long time to do this car.
Yeah.
But it kept going on hold, and he'd go out of the country and that kind of stuff.
That's beautiful.
I'll turn you over to Darren so you can see what's rest in the shop.
Let's go see.
Let's go outside first on a field trip.
Sure.
Parking lot.
Parking lot. AKA the rest of the shop. Let's go out
The
here.
al fresco section.
Yeah, we'll go out here. We're going to start way down here and work our way back. We might as well talk about Mr. Bawer's van sitting out there too, since we're going to be right near it.
Sure.
We can talk about it in a minute because it's been waiting like everything else on parts. Watch the mud.
Oop.
Mush Island.
It is Mush Island.
All right, there's the paint bus.
Ah, look away. Oh.
So this lady called and she was gonna, or she had already bought it. Wasn't gonna. She already bought this bus up in Washington D.C., I believe, somewhere up that way, and they're from Tennessee, and they're going to use it on their farm or something like that, I guess. So she called and asked about could we do it, and I said yeah, and we talked about everything. So, but we're not sure exactly what we're doing yet. I just did a bumper to bumper on it, and we're going to call her and tell her that it needs a lot. There's a lot of stuff going on. So this is a rare sunroof, hard top sunroof that y'all don't see very often. That roof actually drops down and slides into the roof itself. So that kind of rare. There's a lot of rust issues with that. So I did the bumper to bumper, and we're going to tell her it almost needs a full resto because there's a lot of stuff. She wanted to try to originally just paint the bottom half, but there's too much work on the top to not paint it. And then whoever painted it, you can see the overspray. So we're going to talk about the differences in paints here. They put it looks like the sad thing is they put all new window seals in, but see all the paint on the window seals, so and a bunch of overspray on the windows, so it wasn't done real good. So we're gonna like, hey, yeah. So that's where we're at. So, anyways, that just came in the other day, and we're gonna.
And this one's a surprise for her husband, right?
Yeah. So her husband didn't know anything about it, and she's been trying to keep it from him. And
the mysterious pink bus.
Yeah. So
I assume we're changing the color.
Yeah, she wants to go back to a blue and white, still two-tone.
Okay.
But blue and white. So.
Anything would be.
It's a little hippie bus, I guess it was. It got cans on the shifter and you know the old school stuff, wood paneling inside. And,
that wiggles. I just saw that move.
So.
Oh.
Anyways, but the seats are great. It's a
seats
pretty
are in
cool
good
little
shape.
bus though. So we'll see if we can fix her up. We got and I don't know if we talked about last time though, but we worked on this bug before, and he got it back, and then he decided he wanted to do some more work. So Tony Miller, so we brought it in, and we're getting the engine tins all powder coated and doing some other stuff. So it came back. It went home, was home for a week, and came back. So Mr. Bawer's bus on the other side of the shop truck there, and it's waiting on some engine tins. So for y'all in the bus world, it's pretty common for people to take a bus and put a bug motor back into it. So we put a brand new motor in here, but it's a bug motor, 1776, and that's cool and it's fine and it works and everything. But what happens is, and I'll show you, so it'd be cool. So what happens is when you put a bug motor with a Type 4 bug, so see this whole space right here is now a gap. Well, they had a homemade little piece of tin in here. But when they do make a kit, so we went back and told them what happened with his old motors that burn up. Well, it probably burned up because of all the air moving around here.
Yeah.
So we told them, we recommend, since you spent all this money on a brand new engine, to get these tins. So they make a tin set and an engine seal so that it seals this entire area out, especially back behind the motor. And so that's what we're waiting on his. He said, yeah, let's do that. So we did that, and now that's what he's still sitting here waiting on, so we don't burn the motor up again. So
because too much air cooled.
Yeah, too much. Yeah. So I mean, for everybody that doesn't understand, I know, because I didn't either when I first started, is you think air blowing around is good, but what happens is that hot air coming off the road and stuff is not good for the engine. So these engines have their tins, the metal parts, that keep its air flowing around itself.
Yeah.
And it's its own little seal environment. So when you lose one of those tins or don't have it and you get hot air coming off the road, no bueno.
Not as good as it sounds.
Yeah, and that's his old motor sitting over there. Won't even turn. It's cooked. So I roasted it. So
when that happens.
yeah, bad. So air good and air bad sometimes. So
just the right amount of air.
Yeah, so.
All right, now we got another red Beetle.
We got a little red Beetle up here. I know there's so many of them we're losing track of it. It's a hard job. This one, so this is a brother and sister, and they're doing it, they were going to do it for a surprise for their dad, but it was too hard to keep it from them.
Yeah.
So
that's a hard thing to pull off.
Yeah, so they came in about a month ago, I guess, and talked to Spook about it and all that, and filled out some paperwork, and then they waited, and then they just called the other day and said, hey, we're ready to do it. So we brought in, we did a bumper to bumper, and then I'm calling them today too. It came about the same time the bus is, and I'm going to give them their list and see what they want to do. But they want it safe for their dad, so it's not a bad little bug overall, but there's some things with it. I mean, it's got, somebody's put a bunch of time into painting the motor, but it doesn't run right. So we've got to go through.
For looks only.
Yeah, I mean, it runs okay, but it's run on 2 cylinders, and there's 4 in there, so we need the other 2 to work.
Yeah.
So. And the interior's not bad.
It's not bad looking.
There's a lot of safety, little seat belts that need to be upgraded. There's no windshield wipers. You know, the front end needs to have all new rubber put in it. It's all rotted. And
do we know what year this one is?
This one, I think, is a 71. Yes, it is a 71 Super.
Yeah.
71 Super. So.
Huh. All right.
These are the telltale super vents down here. That's why I reached down there. So.
There we go. Okay.
But anyway, so it's bumper to bumper. I'm gonna call them. So it's getting not a ton of work, but it's gonna be here for a minute and get done. But this is what happens when you paint over rust. I know.
Yeah, I was looking at the paint going.
Yeah, this wasn't us. Obviously, it was painted. But I mean, not everybody wants a showroom paint.
No. It's great. It's
from from 100 feet away, it looks great.
I think we call it a 20/20.
There you go.
You're going 20 miles an hour or 20 feet.
And then back here in the back, we got Cabral sitting back there, and I called him today and left a message because he called for an update, and he's really close. We're just, like I said, we're still working some little issues on him.
Man,
and
it's that
hopefully,
last 2% of a project, right?
yes, man, sometimes it drags out forever. So, but anyway, so we're getting close to hopefully in the next couple of videos we can say, hey, Cabral's leaving. You all can see him finally leaving. So
it's awesome when buses leave because it leaves so much more room.
So much room, yeah. So, and then obviously we're still actually going to call these guys. They don't. This is next for blast, but we had holding off because we don't want to have to. He's in the paint booth. We got to schedule that just right because he's got all those parts in there. So when he blasts it, it has to go immediately into sealer. So we have to have the room to be able to take it in there. So that's the reason it's been sitting there this whole time. But we're getting close now where I got to call them and schedule that so we can go ahead and blast it, and then you'll see it in sealer hopefully.
Yeah.
So let's go in here and then we'll. Y'all already talked about Fergie a little bit, and he's just got some paint touch-ups to do on Fergie, and then we could do some moving that. This is Mr. Corroll, and there's not a whole car here, but he, I don't know if we talked about it last week or not, but he, it's a 67, I think, early 60s, maybe 64 Beetle, and he lives in Atlanta, and he ran into it with his wife's car. So he was driving his wife's Audi. So at least it was German on German contact.
Yeah, that's true.
So he had an Audi TT and he backed into the car and creased the entire fender and the deck lid or something. So
is he in the doghouse?
Yeah, I don't know. I think he did it with his own. It didn't hurt the Audi. It was crazy.
Oh, okay.
So yeah, barely could tell. And he actually drove the parts here in the Audi, so we got to see the Audi.
Okay.
But so we had to just do a little bit of paint touch up and a little bit of metal work on the deck lid. It had broke part loose where your spring goes in the center. So anyways, so we don't do full cars always all the time.
Right.
Sometimes a little, but we don't do that much. But he did it for him, and those are done now. So we got to call him and tell him to
it looks good
to come get his parts. And he was really excited. He brought his daughter, and they were all big Volkswagen nuts. And so
we got some video from her. I'll splice that in. It was an awesome little video.
She spent a bunch of time running around here taking pictures. We couldn't keep up with her. She was running around so much. So anyway, so that happens too. So okay, back in the main shop, Herbie. Let me do Herbie. Herbie's back on his own wheels.
Great.
And we drove around yesterday, and we have a part that 99% of the time people wouldn't notice, but we don't like it, so we're gonna get a new one. The brakes are custom.
Yeah.
It's a custom offset for a wide 5.
Okay.
And they're aluminum, and it's got a little warble to it. Not a big one, but not that one. Nobody would even notice it probably.
Right, but we will. We're not gonna.
So we're not gonna send it out that way. So we're getting that coming, and then plus his LED headlights are still coming and taillights. So other than that, Herbie's good to go. He's all tightened down. Like I said, I drove him yesterday. Yeah. Oh, one of the other things too. So I'll show you. So we took his air conditioning off at request of the owner, and then he. So when you take that off and you have this giant, engine in here, the AC compressor was right here, so we took that all off and stuff. And it had, because of the AC, it had a special belt set up where it had a belt tensioner on it and everything like that. Well, he wanted the belt tensioner off because it would throw belts everywhere. So we took the belt tensioner off, which was mounted here, went back to an old belt with a pulley and everything. So went back to old school there, and we did that. So it ran fine and really good. Yesterday, so really we're back. Like I said, he's also in the lower 2% left of his deal, and he'll be going home soon. So
great. Well, I want to test drive.
Yeah. So there'll be a video. Of us riding in this thing here because it's a little race car. So anyways,
what's going on with this gorgeous?
This one over here, so we can look up underneath here. Like I said, I know last week we talked about the same thing, but what happens on these headliners? Everybody thinks that. Just a piece of vinyl and you throw it up there, it's real easy. Even though Gia is one of the easiest, sometimes they give you problems. So like I'm working on it, but I got, and again, it's probably something that, nobody would notice, but it just bugs me. It's a little teeny creases I don't like, so I like to work all those out. I'm probably too much of a perfectionist if there is such a thing. But anyways, it bugs me, so I walk away from it for a while and come back. But I just got to work out these little corners and then get some of this out here, and then we'll be good with that, and I can start popping windows in. But I just spend I spend a lot of time on those trying to get them. So when you're pulling vinyl 3 different directions in the corners, it gets kind of hard. So
It's true.
All
right, Gazzo. Let's say it, everybody. We're waiting on the.
Yeah, everybody all together at once. Gazzo. We're supposedly though. So we had our ship date, and it's now the 21st of June.
Today's the 23rd.
So I think it's supposed to be shipping soon. I got to check into that.
I kind of thought it was July.
Maybe July. I get confused. It's so long, but either way, it's next month.
All right, it's getting there. Hopefully, there's no delay. But
so yeah, hopefully not. Miss Farrell's car's still here. Like it was back in. This is the lady that bought her 50-acre of her home, and they wrecked it, so we just had her. Well, in the middle of that, we found out that her master cylinder wasn't good. It wouldn't hold a brake bleed, so we ordered a master cylinder for it. So we'll get that in tomorrow and get her back on the road again.
That's great. That's a pretty good find. I mean, she's had to have some things done.
Yeah, so that's the thing. When you start working on these cars, they're old, so if it's not a full restoration, you work on it
piece by piece.
Something else is likely to go wrong with it. So yeah, that happens. So it's no big deal. So and then we got Range behind you there.
What's on with Range?
His deal. I'm still working through deals on his rag top there, but it should start taking off. So I got his rag. We have to custom make it, so that's the deal. Obviously, the word custom takes time. Custom and time go together. So
it does.
We originally, the way that the rag works here on the back, which we have this Grumpy's metal. Everybody in the BW world knows who that is. So out in Cali. So there's 11 holes on this for a rag top. Well, when I started to get ready to put this together, I counted 10.
Oh.
And I called him and said, hey, I've got 10 holes in my bug. He's like, it's impossible. There's no such thing. And I was like, well, let me count them again. So I got off the phone. I went back and counted them again. And I was like, there's 10 holes.
Yeah.
And he's like, well, okay, that's not necessarily the end of the world. Here's what we're going to have to do. And when he started talking me through it, I was like, oh, man. So then I came back to the car and looked at it and scratched my head and had a headache and everything. And I found the other hole. What I had done is accidentally got covered up in paint and bodywork. And it was there. It was just covered. So,
all right.
Because what was confusing me is there's a center hole and then 5 holes on either side of it. So which makes the 11. Well, I was like, I got the center hole. He's like, that's crazy. So you have 4 holes on one side, 5.
It's got to be odd. Yeah.
So, and because for everybody that doesn't remember, this wasn't a ragtop car.
Right.
This is a 52 Zwitter. We put the rag in it. So I was like, oh, did we?
Oh.
But we didn't. Everything's safe, so we found that. So, but that was kind of part of the holdup. I didn't want to go forward.
A little moment of a heart attack there?
Yeah, a little moment of. Well, and he said we could work through it, which they, Grumpy's Metal, they do this stuff for a living. So he was like, it's not the end of the world, it's not ideal, but we can work through it.
All right.
So we were already in the process of talking about how that was going to happen.
Yeah.
And then I found the other hole.
Discovered the other hole. Yay!
We're good. So, it's just something, I mean, I'm a true purist, and you got them 2 split oval windows, and I'm like, I don't, but we figured it out. So anyways, we'll walk outside here and talk about a couple other things.
All right.
And then hopefully here soon y'all get to see some new stuff and see some stuff leaving, and it isn't the same old stuff here. So
that'd be nice.
Yeah. So Josh is out here been working on Mr. Hardin, which is our 57 oval window, which is.
I was checking out for like lumpies because you know me and lumpy. He's been using the TIG setting on this thing. And it's actually coming out really nice. So I'll let you tell me.
Hey, Josh.
Yeah.
Talk to us.
All right. So I've been replacing the lower sections of Hardin's driver's and passenger door, and this would be the reason why. So you've got all your rusting really, really bad. And even on the inside here too, on the inner skin or on the inner framework and then the outside skin, they both had to be replaced. So that's what we're doing there. Started running the TIG. I started out with the MIG and I didn't like the way it was working. It was starting to sink in real bad because of the heat transfer. So what I did was found a good setting on the TIG machine and TIGged it all in, and it looks just like it does on the inside as it does on the outside. So super tickled with that. But that's what we're doing today.
Huh? Tickled.
Yeah. It's a lot of fun, man. It's clean work, It's I enjoy it. It's a lot better than MIG welding or stick welding in my book.
Cool. Looks like a little mini lightsaber.
Yeah, it's fun. I'm telling you, it's really fun. But that's where we're at, and then we'll flip him up, put on rotisserie, and we'll do the bottom sections that need to be repaired and replaced.
Okay.
And, after that, that's it. I mean, she's ready for paint.
Great. And what's up with Rusty?
Rusty, while all we got left on it is package tray, and some grinding, and still on air ride so we can notch the frame, and then it'll be ready for blast and then paint and all that good stuff. So
All right.
we're still there. We're hanging in there. We're getting
That's
it done
great.
as
So
we can.
I don't know if the audience actually notices. Take a spin around the room. Like it's got a ceiling now.
Oh. Improvements.
So we're trying to increase our space.
Yeah.
So
We need more
have some
space.
cars, so
Yes.
this is going to become the welding room.
Oh, nice.
So not only do we like Josh so much, we bought him a brand new welder.
Making him a
We're actually
room.
making him a room. I think we're going to put a couch back there.
Oh, wow. All right, we're getting fancy.
So speaking of that, yeah, we're going to add on, and we should be talking about that coming up soon out back here where we were. We're going to show
Good.
y'all when we get that all, actually a pretty decent size add-on so that we can bring more cars here. 'cause-
Maybe we can post a camera and, record all the building.
Yeah,
That'd be kind of cool.
and then I guess the other thing is we need to talk about October 16th.
Yes, mark your calendars.
October 16th.
October 16th.
October 16th.
We
I
expect
think
to
the
see
gates
you.
open 8 or
8
9?
o'clock they
8 o'clock?
open, but people are actually, the show starts at 10.
Yeah.
So if you're bringing your vehicle, 8 o'clock.
Yeah, and we are doing a swap meet this year, so if you got stuff.
Should be a
Yeah.
pretty decent size. So
Right? We got
didn't even-
stuff.
So we need to back up because there's probably still people who don't know what we're talking about. We're talking about our car show.
Yep. Lowdown in
October 16th.
Dubtown.
Yeah, so, and we didn't get to do it last year, like a lot of things didn't get to happen last year because of COVID. So
Yeah.
hopefully it's a pretty big turnout. I don't know where we're going to park everybody. We'll park people somewhere.
Oh, we got places.
We'll stuff cars everywhere. But
Borrow the neighbor's yard.
yeah, we're going to try to do probably a really decent size swap meet. We're going to do, part of expanding is cleaning out. So y'all will benefit from us getting rid of stuff we didn't
Yeah,
need to
right?
get rid of.
15 years worth of doing
Yeah,
cars.
it's
Well,
hard to
Roger
get
was
stuff
so
apart.
good at finding stuff.
It's hard to get Spook, get rid of
storing
his stuff, and he has stuff he doesn't need anymore. So
I got
you
stuff I
guys
don't
need
even
to-
know I got.
Yeah, so we got to go through and move some of that stuff out. We've
All
got
right.
engine parts and
Well,
parts.
then,
parts.
like even when we were doing the roof, we were pulling
Yeah,
stuff
there
out
was
of
parts up there.
Oh
that-
my gosh.
Yeah, it's-
tires and wheels and glass,
Glass,
and
a lot of
a lot of
glass.
glass.
and some old stuff that you can't find.
Wow.
So,
All right.
So it should be a pretty
Come
cool
and shop.
meet.
Yeah, come enjoy the show and enjoy some dubs.
Sounds
Yeah.
good. All right,
There'll be
guys.
Food and everything going on.
Yeah.
You did, I guess. Or we
Yeah.
did?
Well, it's gonna be recorded.
Okay.
So that's a wrap.
That's
Okay.
all right.
What do
Bye,
you guys
nice
say?
people.
Bye, nice people.